When you're negotiating with the Chinese, who are fierce, these are fierce people, they're not looking for low-energy people. I mean, they'll love it, they'll enjoy it. You see China, these are fierce people in terms of negotiation. They want to take your throat out. They want to cut you apart. These are tough people. I've dealt with them all my life.
In your book, you call China an enemy. Why is it okay to do business with an enemy?
Because it's an economic enemy, because they've taken advantage of us like nobody in history. It's the greatest theft in the history of the world, what they've done to the United States. They've taken our jobs,
from us,
George.
why is it okay to do business with them?
Well, we can do it, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to end up making money from them. We're losing in terms of balance of payments, in terms of anything you want to do with trade. We're losing almost $400 billion a year with China. Nobody can turn that. You look at corporate inversions where companies are leaving the United States, taking employees. I'm the only one that can do that. You know, the other candidates I was talking to, they don't even know what corporate inversion is. We have forced Russia back to China, and now we have this alliance. And now we have Iran, too, on top of it. So now we have China, Iran, right? And we have Russia. It's a disaster.
How are you going to pay for all that?
Because we're going to expand the economy incredibly, and I'm taking our jobs back from China, from Japan, from Mexico, from all of these countries that have just ripped us like never before. You know, if you go downstairs right under this floor, you have the biggest bank in the world. It's a China bank. I know all about China. I know more about China than probably most people, okay? I deal with them a lot, between buying apartments for $25 to $50 million and tenants. Let me just tell you, China has... And I respect China, and I respect their leaders. Our leaders just aren't smart enough to handle them. China has created one of the great thefts in the history of the world with what they've done to our country. We're going to bring jobs back to this country. We're going to become a successful country. When we start charging China, now, just so you understand, when you make a deal with China, if I'm a manufacturer, if I want to sell something in China, number one, it's impossible to get it over there. But if you do, you're going to pay a massive tax. We don't treat them properly. We have to do the same thing to them. When you start charging tariffs, which they do. Now, I don't want to do that. I'm a big free trader. I believe in free trade. But we don't have free trade. We have stupid trade. You know how much we lose with China each year in trade balances? Imbalance. You know what we lost last year? Almost $400 billion. Okay? We lose $400 billion trade imbalance. U.S. trade imbalance with China, almost $400 billion a year. That's been going on for years. I'm going to make our country great again. We're going to do trade pacts that are incredible instead of like incompetent, because what we have right now with China, with Japan, with everybody is just incredible. And nobody's going to be able to do what I do in terms of making our country wealthy again so we can do all the things we want to do and other things also. But I think the big thing also is he's just not going to be able to do deals with China. But these countries are all ripping us like nobody has ever ripped us before. When you're dealing with China, these people come in, they're fierce. They're fierce. You know who has the oil, and you know who's buying the oil is China. They don't have 10 cents in this whole deal, and they're buying the oil. They're the biggest customer. But you have the oil going to ISIS, and you have the oil going to Iran, and Iran will end up with most of it, and ISIS will have plenty because they've got plenty of money because they took the oil, because we were stupid. He is a nice guy, but he doesn't have the temperament. You know why? He's too low-key. He's too laid back. Can you imagine Bush negotiating with China? You want to talk about temperament? I'll introduce you to the Chinese. They have temperament.